I've said in previous entries before that one of the things that I love doing is kind of revisiting older films and using my wife as like a guinea pig, exposing her kind of to the world of film like I see it. We both love films, but I go really deep into a lot of the ones that I try to like bring to her attention. And I'll probably bring numerous films that are probably old that I bring up to people that sit there and watch with them through different entries of this film. Every so often, my wife convinces me to do the same thing. A couple of months ago, I did an entry about the trailers that were up and coming, and I spoke about something called Wish Dragon. And as you can see by the title of this entry, yes, unfortunately, I have watched it, and it's mainly because of my wife. So why do I say it's because of my wife? Well, when I watched it and when I saw the trailer, I should say, I knew right off the bat that this film was going to annoy the crap out of me. And why was the film going to annoy the crap out of me? Well, like I feel it is for most people. And from a lot of what I've read online too, like I've seen articles on Polygon. I've seen numerous posts on Reddit. I'm part of the movies Reddit community, and I listen to I read a lot of things on there, and it's had its own fair share of critiques on there as well, because everybody sees exactly what I see. So when I told this to my wife, I said, "Babe, this is basically an Aladdin ripoff." She was like, "Oh, but it looks cute. We have to watch it." So one night we watched it. And it's exactly how I expected. It is a full-on Aladdin ripoff with so minimal things like not put in or not involved to make it seem like it isn't a ripoff. But it's clearly a fucking ripoff. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to say, and I've read this before too, if you want to say that Disney doesn't own the concept of what Aladdin is essentially the story of the Arabian Nights. Fine. But this isn't trying to tell the Arabian Nights story. Shit, Aladdin doesn't even fully tell the Arabian Nights story. It takes its own liberties with that story to make the movie they made in Aladdin, just like it does with all of its films. Cinderella isn't 100% the same story. Beauty and the Beast isn't 100% the same story. They are reformatted to be kids' movies and to be entertaining, because most of the time, the real folk tales that these stories are based on are fucking grim. You know what I mean? So the Aladdin story that we see is specifically made with that storytelling idea, that storytelling concept. And the Wish Dragon, as far as I can read up on from the things I've been reading, it doesn't have any history to back it up. It uses a lot of the things from Asian culture to kind of make it its own story, but that's all well and dandy. If you're telling me that there's a story, or if there's a folktale of a concept like a wish dragon, or just like dragons in general, and magical teapots and whatever, that's fine. You can make that story, but you better make that story not be like a full-on copy-paste job of one of the classic films of many people's childhood, let alone me, who, if you've listened to some of my previous posts, I fucking love Robin Williams, and you just shat all over one of his best films. And okay, maybe shat on is a bit of a rough term, but you kind of shat on me in the sense that you're basically telling me to believe that this is like maybe a brand new take, or this is your interpretation of the story, or you're taking this story and making it part of a completely different culture. Listen, again, I'm fine with all of that, but how dare you use the exact same jokes, the exact same formula, the exact same... Listen, what's the premise of the story? The premise of the Wish Dragon is a poor kid who has a best friend, who the best friend becomes rich, and all he wants is his best friend back. So he doesn't want to fall in love, he just wants to have his friendship again. Which, okay, if he wants to cling on to that, fine, let him cling on to that. But what is Aladdin? Aladdin is a poor kid in the slums trying to impress the princess, who is extremely rich. And how does he do that? Well, he can't. So he discovers the Wish Dragon, or as in Aladdin, the genie. And granted, in Aladdin, how he discovers it is different than how the boy discovers it in Wish Dragon, which, okay, differences there. We'll give differences the credit where credit is due. So how the discovery of the wish-giving sentient beings is slightly different. Also slightly different, what those beings are kind of like trapped in, almost. So the concept of the genie is he's just a genie. He was never really meant to be a free being in a way, and he's been giving out wishes for 10,000 years or something. Well, the concept of the Wish Dragon is that he's meant to grant 3 wishes to 10 different masters. And after the 10th, he will then pass on into the afterlife and, get his wings or whatever. So the thing with that is that the boy is his 10th wish. The boy is his 10th master to give out 3 wishes to. Now, being that that's the case, it does eliminate the idea of like, oh, Aladdin wishes the genie free on his 3rd wish, but this kid can't do that. So you're essentially expecting 3 wishes. So what's the first wish? The first wish is, oh, make me look rich. Does that ring any bells? That's exactly what fucking Aladdin's first wish is. He's like, genie, I want you to make me a prince so I can impress the princess. And then this kid and the Wish Dragon is like, Wish Dragon, make me look rich so I can enter this birthday party. Like, it's the same thing. And then when he tells him, listen, these are the rules for making wishes, what are the rules for making wishes? In Aladdin, it's he can't kill anyone, he can't make people fall in love, and he can't bring people back from the dead. What's the Wish Dragon's 3 rules? He can't kill anyone, he can't make anyone fall in love, and he can't time travel. Ooh, you switched one around, but it's essentially the same thing. They both have 3 rules. Only one of them is different. So, what? And that's just the beginning of it. What else is there? There's also the concept of how, at one point, the dude, the little boy in Wish Dragon tricks the Wish Dragon into like fulfilling a wish and making them kind of fly through the air to get to their destination faster and not waste a wish. Kind of resembles them escaping the Temple of Doom in Aladdin. Like, it's the same scene. I mean, I guess you could say one of the biggest differences is probably relating to the characters of the genie, where the genie in Aladdin is kind of just like, laid back, fun, trying to like be a genie and kind of go full throttle with it. Like, I'm a genie, you're my master. Let's grant some wishes and let's move on with our lives. Let's have a good time while we're doing this. And then a Wish Dragon, he's kind of selfish, he's kind of self-loathing, he's kind of, shallow. And he's just like, oh, why don't you want to be, like, rich? Like, period. Why don't you just wish for tons of gold? Like, why don't you do what every other master I've ever had does? And it's kind of this process of, like, learning how to truly, like, love life and appreciate life in a way. So maybe the idea of the backstory of the Wish Dragon being a little bit better than the genie's, whereas the genie is just kind of like, yeah, I'm a genie in the lamp. But that's about it. Like, there's really, not too much of a difference that really makes such a statement where it still doesn't upset you as a fan. Like, how is it that Sony was able to get away with something like this? Something that's just such a blatant copy-paste job. Like, nobody else would be able to do that. And, again, maybe I'm the only one that feels this way. And I can't even say that's true because there literally is a huge community, especially on Reddit, that agrees with me and agrees with that fact. And that's why I felt necessary to kind of speak out, even though, I did watch it and I wanted to do an entry on it. And I was kind of like, do I bash this film? Do I not bash this film? Are people going to, attack me because I'm just attacking somebody else's idea? But numerous people, it's not just me, there's a huge community of people that clearly see that this is an Aladdin ripoff. And I'm not gonna say that it's not worth watching either. It is enjoyable, it is a fun film, it's not a musical, so okay, that's another difference. Aladdin was a musical, this kind of isn't. I don't expect this to be a Broadway play, but I also, didn't. I mean, I expected some blatant Aladdin ripoff things, but even seeing past some of that, just the story of kind of seeing the Wish Dragon grow a heart as well it kind of makes the movie a little bit worth it. So just the character of the Wish Dragon, not like going from being this this asshole who's just like, grant you three wishes and let me be on my way, kid. I want to be free, to actually like kind of being happier, like kind of growing, a soul again, as, a being stuck in the mortal world because he was a dick during his time and era. It's nice to see that. So that by itself kind of makes the film a little bit worth it, but I can't overshadow the fact that this is just really, really poor decision-making processes, and I'm really surprised that I haven't heard about a Disney lawsuit against it. Maybe it's because of their deal they have with Spider-Man. Maybe they just have that relationship now. I don't know, but it's just really shocking that Disney hasn't gone after them, because it's a blatant ripoff. It's blatantly stealing pure scenes, like almost line by line, from Aladdin, and it just shocks me how they were able to get away with that.